Welcome to the Peep Show edition of Bare Naked Bravery. My name is Emily Ann Peterson, and it's just me today. I wanted to do these Peep Show editions and these little mini episodes because I think it's really important to display bravery and vulnerability, not just talk about it. So in these episodes, you will hear me talk about some of the subjects that we cover in episodes that you hear on the show. But I'll also be talking about some of the bravery that I am experiencing and practicing in my own life, in kind of a mostly live kind of way. So even though these episodes are going to be published live, you won't hear them for a couple days. They still are very current and will be very current to what is going on in my life personally. So that leads me to today's topic, which is vulnerability. And it's a really big topic, of course. It's kind of a doozy, but it's something that I have really been challenged with this past couple weeks, specifically in regards to these episodes. I've really put it off, but I had to set myself up to just do it and set a date, and I've got a couple friends holding me accountable to the fact that this is getting published on the day that you are hearing it. So it is important when we're being vulnerable that we feel safe enough to be vulnerable. I think that it's really unwise to be vulnerable or put yourself out there without some of the boundaries that ensure that you're staying safe, and that you're not going to die. And I think that those feelings are really natural and they're really good. Like, we need to listen to our fear of something because our fear is telling us and warning us to avoid something that could possibly be life-threatening. The life-threatening things don't happen to us as much. We're not on the Oregon Trail trying to get our way to the Pacific Northwest to have a good, awesome life. We actually, most of us have food. Most of us have a roof over our head. We are not encountering these life or death situations on a day-to-day basis. But our bodies still experience, and our stress levels still reflect the fact that we are experiencing fear in the same way that we used to on the Oregon Trail. Oh my God, I love that game. I'm going to get sidetracked, so I'm going to not do that and talk to you about how much I played that game when I was little. But I will say that the bravery and the vulnerability that is required to live in a brave way every day requires that we practice the vulnerability on a day-to-day basis. We have to practice that vulnerability. And it doesn't matter, we don't have to be like quitting our day jobs every single day. We don't have to be skydiving every day. But taking the small steps to do something brave every day, even if it's tiny, that adds up. It is an investment into a greater life of vulnerability and a greater life that is lived deeply and richly. And I think that the vulnerability that we experience in ourselves, like even within yourself, you can be vulnerable. I think that that's an important aspect of bravery. So, what have I practiced in my everyday life, and how have I practiced that vulnerability in my everyday life this week? Well, I have recently adopted in the last couple weeks a practice of taking 10 minutes every morning and meditating. It's not as stupid as I once thought it was. It is actually really important to me now. Even just a couple weeks into this practice of every day taking 10 minutes to just focus my mind on my breath and focus my mind on the fact that underneath all of the crazy in my life, there is still the same person, and there is still the same kind of peace and strength that I bring with me every single day amidst all of that craziness. It's a daily practice of being vulnerable within myself, and it's safe because I've set it up 10 minutes. I've got a timer going. It's safe because there's a quiet area. It's safe because I have a cup of tea in front of me in case I just happen to open my eyes and get thirsty. It's safe because it's the right time of day. It's safe because it's just me. And no one else needs to see how crazy my inside of my mind is. But it's safe because I have the strength within me to find that peace and to find the stillness that exists underneath all the craziness. So I really encourage you guys, if you are not a meditator, you don't have to be awesome. In fact, the point of meditating is not to be awesome. The point of it is actually to be pretty bad at it and to just practice it. So if you haven't done that yet, I highly recommend that you do, because it's really great. It brings a clarity of mind to the start of my day that writing, my daily writing practice, can't necessarily provide me. I know sometimes when I do my daily writing practice of stream of consciousness writing, it fires me up. I actually end the writing thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much to do and it's going to be great. I'm going to be able to conquer all of it. And then some days I finish the writing practice thinking, oh my God, there's so much to do. It's going to be awful. So one of the things that the meditation practice does is it allows me to end that 10 minutes feeling focused on the one thing I want to do that day. And that's happened this week all together, and it's been really, really phenomenal. So if you'd like to get started on a meditation practice, or you just want some tips and tricks from a beginner like me, then first of all, YouTube has some really great resources. Secondly, there are podcasts dedicated solely to meditations. There are several daily podcasts that just post a little meditation, a guided meditation for you. And there's also a couple apps. One of them that I like is called Headspace, and all of them are really great options for beginners. But I really do think that it's important to understand that when you're starting something, you're going to be bad at it. And in the case of meditation, I think you'll always be bad at it. But it's the practice. Again, it's the investment in finding the clarity. It's the investment in reminding yourself that the bravery already exists inside of you. So that's our episode today. That's the Peep Show. Just a little peek at some of the vulnerability and some of the bravery that I encounter personally on a day-to-day basis. If you are curious about this show and even about who the hell I am, then you should go check out barenakedbravery.com. You'll learn a whole bunch more about bravery and who I am, and you'll also have some opportunities to get some free stuff like a coloring book and some free music and all sorts of other stuff too. Let's end today with one of my favorite benedictions by the author John O'Donohue. He writes a benediction for the artist at the start of the day, and I think it's pretty perfect for all of us. He says, "May morning be astir with the harvest of night, your mind quickening to the eros of a new question, your eyes seduced by some unintended glimpse that cut right through the surface to a source. May this be a morning of innocent beginning, when the gift within you slips clear of the sticky web of the personal, with its hurt and its hauntings, and fixed fortress corners. A morning when you become a pure vessel for what wants to ascend from silence. May your imagination know the grace of perfect danger, to reach beyond imitation and the wheel of repetition, deep into the call of all, the unfinished and unresolved, until the veil of the unknown yields and something original begins to stir towards your senses and grow stronger in your heart."